The main purpose for Roman villa life was fruitful husbandry. However, it also stood for a social ideal and architectural form. If you could afford to own a villa, you were seen to be well off or wealthy. It symbolized power and social status. Romans would venture to their villa for a weekend to engage in odium. The Roman odium was a retreat to escape the business, political, and social distractions of everyday life, where they leisurely studied philosophy, wrote poetry, and kicked back in their luxurious home. In contrast, Romans who worked in order to engage in odium are considered in nicodium.
The villa rustica was the term used by the ancient Romans to denote a villa set in the open countryside, often as the hub of a large agricultural estate or latifundium. These were the earliest form of villa and connoted the golden age of peace and plenty and agrarian life. The adjective rusticum was used to distinguish it from an urban or resort villa. The villa rustica would ultimately serve as a residence of the landowner and his family, as well as a center of farm operations. They often consisted of multiple buildings to house laborers and farm animals. The villa rustica usually consisted of three parts: the urbana, or main house, agricultural center, and the rusticana, farm area, but could vary based on architect. The villa urbana was essentially similar to a country home. It could be reached within a night or two, and while the villa rustica typically housed permanent residents such as servants, the villa urbana would normally only be visited for a few days at a time. The final element of the traditional villa was called a fructuaria. This would be the area where produce was stored. Similar to the villa urbana, the villa suburbana was a pleasure villa. Also a short-term residence, they were very close to the city. Due to these factors, they rarely had any surrounding property, nor any farm use. Yet another type of villa, prominent in this time, was the villa maritima. These were seaside villas owned by the wealthiest of Romans, typically characterized by an axial sequence of rooms.
The first room you would experience upon entering a Roman villa was typically the atrium. These extravagant rooms featured high ceilings and often had an opening in the roof with a small pool below it that collected rainfall. This room was used as a greeting area for guests to make a good first impression. The Tablinum was another room in the villa. This office space was decorated with stylish mosaics that surrounded the family's finances. Any business done in the villa would be done in the Tablinum. The cubicula was a small bedroom that would often feature only a bed. Villas also feature outdoor spaces, typically in the center, called a peristylium. These areas were known as the garden of the home, and would house plants, sculptures, and occasionally fountains, all surrounded by a cryptoporticus that enclosed the rectangular shape of the peristylium, providing shade. This wall space was also embellished with wall mosaics. Another element of the villa was the lararium, a room designated for sacred practices. Families would pay tribute to their gods and ensure safety and pray for protection for their homes. The dining area of a villa was known as a triclinium, a banquet room used for entertainment and to display the hospitality of the homeowners. Families would host social gatherings in their triclinium. Last but not least, villas include a culina, or a kitchen, where cooks would prepare the family's daily meals.